By the time I was a senior, I thought I had a pretty good chance to make the team, but I turned out being the last guy cut in my senior year. And any kid that's going out for teams know how much of a setback that is, but doubly so when you're in your senior year. Felt that I should have been able to make the team. It kind of made me angry, to say the least. That anger, I think, lingered to the point where, with a couple of months to go for graduation, I got in an argument with the principal, left school, went to work as a stevedore with my father and brother. This fellow I had met in the crime prevention, Shuey Sisman, talked me into going back and finishing high school. I only had one more year to go, and he felt that it was important. Since no other member of my family, I was the youngest child of 13 kids, had gone to high school. With that experience, and I got an offer to go to Temple. I was playing one-on-one basketball with Paul Arizin, one of the greatest players, greatest shooters of all time in the NBA. And he asked me where I was going to school, and I told him I was all set to go to Temple in a couple of weeks. And he said to me, "Why don't you consider going to LaSalle?" I said, "They never contacted me." And he said, "Well, they got a guy up there you'd be great to play with. His name was Tom Gola, young kid that, and with your outside shot, your jump shot, Frank, you'd compliment him."
Recently, when my dad was inducted into the Hall of Athletes at LaSalle, we went down as a family and got to see a game at the Tom Gola Arena, which was pretty cool. And my son at the time had said to me, "Why wasn't it called the Frank Blatcher Arena?" which I thought was really cute. And I said, well, Frank Blatcher was an integral part of that NCAA championship team, and I'm very proud of him. But Tom Gola was one of the greatest basketball players that ever played the game, not only from the city of Philadelphia, but in the country.
Looking back on that season, that '54 season, it was just absolutely magnificent. The way we stuck together as a team, bounced back time after time with all kinds of adversities, and mainly in my situation, losing my dad at a very critical time in the season. My family, my brothers and sisters, were telling me I should play in spite of the fact that my dad had passed away, and the Philadelphia papers were calling, "Are you going to play? You're going to play?" And at this point in time, I felt that I was a key player of the team, and they did need me. And even though I'd been starting all this time, since I had lost all that practice, I did come back against NC State, and I had dedicated this game, along with the Penn State game, to my dad, who I just lost the week before. And I was fortunate enough to be the top scorer in that game. Beating Penn State was gigantic, because that would be the comparison between today's Final Four. I'm the only player in the history of the NCAA who came off the bench in the Final Four, and the semifinal game to get 19 points, and in the final game to get 23 points with 11 field goals. And I think to this day, 75 years of NCAA, no one else has ever scored, being top scorer in both games off the bench, scoring a total of 42 points and 18 field goals. My name is Frank Blatcher. I look over my life as has been joyous, happy, and I guess, as my wife Margie says many times, basketball really saved my life, because the love of that game opened so many doors for me